this is Charlie from Charlie's Awesome World of Adventures, and today I'm going to give you my review on Freakier Friday. In this one, Anna's grown enough to be a single pet. Aaron now has a daughter called Harper, and get some occasional assistance from her mum on Tess. Yes, it isn't until she meets a man called Eric. But it can, and the two fall all in love and plan to get married. One problem, however, Harper does not get along with Eric's daughter and soon to be stepsister, the Lily. And after during the incident at school, Harper and Lily swap bodies with Ted and Anna. Which the girls use as their advantage to break Anna and Eric up and reunite Anna with her crush Jake. So when it comes to my thoughts on the original 2003 Freakier Friday, I thought it was pretty good. It honestly hasn't aged bad. And I definitely wouldn't call it the best of the live action Disney films, but it was really good. It had a solid story, Anna and Tess were great characters, and the acting from Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis was on point. So I was quite curious when I heard they were going to do a Freaky Friday sequel, and honestly, the title is clever. We go from a Freaky Friday to a Freakier Friday. If they ever do a third one, I hope they decide to go Freakiest Friday. I don't think we need a third one, but if we did, Disney should go for that title. But anyway, after watching the film, I thought it was fine. It wasn't the best film of the year, and I definitely do think it's a downgrade over the original, but I think it's fine. Let's start with the characters, who I have very mixed feelings on. I wouldn't say these characters are terrible per se. But I don't think they'll be the best as I've. Thankfully, one good thing I can say about them is that the actors do a great job with their performances. Of course, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan already knew the assignment, and their performances are excellent, especially when Lily and Harper end up in their bodies. But I also thought the actresses is for Lily and Harper did really well with their performance. It's really good, especially when Anna and Ted were in their bodies. But let's get into the main ones that are involved for this week. It's starting with the mother and daughter from the first film, Anna and Tess. One thing that the film does clever well is that it doesn't backtrack on the lesson. So yeah, the two still have difficult moments in the relationship, but it does show that they are trying to do better, as with this co-parenting on Harper. But even if Tess can sometimes get a bit too far, and the two switch into the bodies of the girl, I'll say it. Use this as an opportunity to not only understand Lily and Harper a bit more, but to remember what it was like back in their youth. This is why I think the girls have the best as performances when and as Nana are in their bodies. As it's like acting more or like best as friends just having fun with each other's company. Need more than just other daughter. As for the new girls, my feelings on them are quite complex. X, X. Now, I'm not saying I disliked Harper and Lily at all. I'll admit Lily, they took a while for me to get used to, and I was really close to hating her, especially with some of the stuff she does in this film. But I'd have been fine with that if their dynamic was fine. And that's the film's biggest problem. Despite the great performance, almost is from the actors, especially when Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan have take charge with the girls and the mom's body. Is the one thing that really ruins these two is that they are constantly fighting, which makes the film feel uncomfortable to watch. I would honestly enjoy this film either for more or just as much as the original if they don't own down the fighting between the two girls. But it kind of makes the film infuriating. I think as I struggle to watch. As for the side characters, I found them to be the worst part of the first film. Literally, some of them were just so unlikable, but that it did take me out of the film. I'll admit I did improve. If this one, especially with some of the newer side characters introduced, it's like Eric has done this new fiance, and I'd say that's trying her bet in his bet, as to look at what's best for Anna as well as for Lily, and Ella, who's Anna's new music client that's struggling with dealing with a breakup, especially when her ex just released a new song on about it. But some of the others from the first film, well, I'll definitely improve if only show minor personalities. Like what? And it's Tessa's husband that barely has a point in the film. Jane, because Anna's old flame that the girls tried to reunite with Anna. Now, and Pink Slap don't really have that huge of a role, and until the finale, and even then, they could have been easily cut out. Next, there's the story. And this is something that does kind of weaken this film a lot from the original. I'll say now that for the most part, this is one of those sequels that feels like it has to be the exact same aim as the original. No, or with problems between the mother and daughter, and the main character to swapping bodies. It's easy to compare Freakier Friday to Freaky Friday. However, that I wouldn't just say it tries to repeat the last film, as there's a lot more that this film was to do. My biggest problem with the film is that it doesn't feel like it's got enough talent to come up with its own ideas, so it rather copy it from others. I already talked about how the film feels very similar to the first film. But you've got 4 characters swapping bodies, like in the Netflix film Family Switch. And you've got the main goal. I was trying to split it that part. Aaron's up like in Parent Trap. I know it's not the exact thing, but it's hard to watch this film and not feel like it's trying to be a parent trap. As a result, this makes the film feel tirelessly predictable, or where the outcomes are mostly guessable, and I was just sat at the waiting for the next point to come. Also, the heart is really weak. I've already talked about how Lillian Harper's fighting to make the film hard to watch, but they barely have much relationship with Alan Tet, as other than a few quarrels and a heart-to-heart near the end of the feature. But I'll say, even though the story is a massive downgrade, the execution does try its best. As with the materials it's got, one thing I think is just as good in this one as it is in the original is the comedy. For the most part, I found this movie to be hilarious, with most of the jokes hitting and giving me a great laugh, especially with the goat, the four main goat, I was swapping up and bodies, and them getting used to their temporary lifestyle. I'm not saying all the jokes hit, but for the most part, I would easily categorize this as one of the funniest movies of the year. Also, while I did say the heart does feel a lot weaker than the first film, I will admit that the ending was quite sweet, even if I felt like it was and it could have easily been better. And then there are the visuals. I don't usually talk about these for too long, but I will say that this is a decent film, as this is one of Disney's more smaller budget films this year. It doesn't try to go too extreme with the effects. It does a job of in Los Angeles of how it's adapted to the modern time. I'm since the fact as film, and it does try to get creative with some application. Since like Jake X Music sticks up and Lillian Harper School. Also, so I will limit it though. All the settings do look dull. One thing that does help pick this up is the lighting. I was surprised to find how the lighting was pretty good for this film, making the film pretty clear to see throughout, as well as helping brighten up the experience. And also for the moment, so I did find the scene with the ghost swap up, but obviously to be quite creative. It's kind of similar to the first one, but giving a bit more add layers, as the camera would spin 360 degrees is also to show the four or women means swapping their bodies around. So overall, while I would not say this is a great film, in fact I call this to be a bit of a downgrade to the first film. It did know its job and did decently well in it. Freakier Friday is a downgrade to the 2003 film, but on its own, it's a fine enough legacy sequel. Despite a story with no original ideas and some characters that are hard to find unlikable, it does make up for it with some solid visuals, also great humour, decent ideas with the heart, even if it's not fully executed well, and some great acting from the leads. For my recommendation, it would honestly depend on how much you care for the 2003 film. If you love it, then you most likely have a good time with it. If you're someone that I just that doesn't love it, but you think it's a good film, I would recommend to watch it at least once to set you saw it, but you're not going to miss much if you choose to skip this one. I've definitely seen better films this year, but I'll admit, I still had a bit of decent fun with this one, and that's why I'm going to give the film a 6 out of 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!